Rachel Kodanaz is an author, lecturer, consultant, and peer coach. For those who are grieving, she provides the tools they need to recover and rebuild from one of life's hardest challenges. From her website to her presentations to her book, Living with Loss, Rachel creates a fountain of hope as she guides and helps people with the knowledge and lessons they need to find a new normal and live life to the fullest.
And what I want to do tonight is give you a roadmap, some sort of a roadmap of how to work through your loss and how to keep going one day at a time. So I don't know what in life that we think that life was going to be easy and fair when it's really hard. And we don't prepare ourselves for that, but more so we don't prepare each other for that. My story is not the only story that's out there. Every person in this room has a story or you wouldn't have come tonight. What I want to do with you is to provide you hope, healing, and some tools to work through yours. However you want to spin the story to work for you is the way you're going to spin the story. I spun my story by saying that I found a new career. I found a way of giving. I'm going to break the glass ceiling of grief and loss and teaching people how to deal with grief and loss. I remarried. This is my story now. This is where I went with it. So I want to start a little bit. My first thing I want to start with is give you 3 words to take home tonight. The first one is that we're going to learn. And if I were to give you one thing to walk away with tonight, I would like you to walk away with the word tolerance as part of learning. I learned around me who was important and who wasn't important. I learned that there's a lot of noise that happens around you. It's a new word that I picked up from my sister-in-law. It's called noise. And it means when you're doing things and people are in your ear like this, and it's not just verbal noise, it's just you have to return a phone call that you really don't want to return, or you have to go to a dinner party that they're people that they're on the B team, they're not on the A team. But I learned that you had to stick to what you needed and you didn't have to satisfy everybody around you. Your agenda and your speed of which you want to move on something isn't necessarily the same speed that other people want to work on. So why can't we come together to talk about it? Because they're walking on eggshells and they don't know how. And why don't they know how? Because we don't know how to deal with grief and loss. We don't know how to do it. It's too emotional. There's no logic in it. So my point that I'm trying to make with my first word of learn is I'm asking you to just kind of learn for yourself and for the others around you, but be most tolerant of yourself and the people around you. The second word I'm going to talk about laughing. Because through humor, we get a little bit of feeling a little bit good about ourselves. We can laugh at whether it's a very dumb TV show, or it's something that you read, or it's just laughing at someone's behavior. But really where the laughter comes is you laughing at yourself. You just have to kind of laugh at your behavior, because if you beat yourself up for the way you're responding to your situation, it's gonna be a nightmare, and it's just gonna bring you more down. And my third word that I want to give you, which is the most important word of tonight, is live. That you have to live again. And I didn't want to live again. I didn't think I wanted to live again, and it took me a very long time to realize that I was the lucky one in this situation with my husband, because I was the one that got to live. That doesn't mean that I don't think of my deceased husband, Rod, every single day. I wrote a book in honor of him. I'm standing in front of you. It's every single day that I am out there doing presentations. It's because he was in my life and left it way too soon that I do it. So what I realized when I spent my first 5 years in a fog and was the poor, sad widow, that I really was the lucky one, but I didn't know it right away. I felt my life was destroyed because of this situation, because I didn't have the tools to understand that it was random. I didn't have the tools to understand that I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't have the tools and the maturity to understand that no one ever told me that life was going to be hard. So what I encourage you on my third word tonight is to really learn how to live with your loved one. I'm not asking you to close the door on your loved one at all. And we keep these legacies and we keep these memories and the memorials, we take them with us. So why, when a spouse dies, why do we throw those away? Why do we put those down? Why are those not part of who we are and what we're doing? So I want to talk about this book for a second. I didn't write a masterpiece of literature. I wrote an emotional book to help people that are around me. And then I had an opportunity to start writing this book, and I decided that I was going to come up with 365 ideas of how you can make it through a day. And some days I'm really nice, and I say you get a soothing cup of tea on like on day 14. I say just have a soothing cup of tea because this is what tea does for you. This is what the amino acids in the tea do. And other days I say to you, you need to get out of bed, you pull those boots on, you make that bed, and you do something today. So every day is something different, and some of them are really analogies, and some of them are just lessons and thoughts. So I'm surprised at where it's gone and what it's done. I'm surprised at the strength that I've gotten from this, writing it, and the strength I have presenting it. I think it's all part of our healing process, and I think it's all part of us growing, and I think it's all part of us honoring the person that we have lost. So I challenge you to come up with not your book, but what your is to honor for yourself and for your loved one. Thank you. Thank you.
For more information on Rachel Kodanaz and her book, Living with Loss, check out the website, rachelkodanaz.com.